And welcome to the Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast, episode 168. We're here with you on it's a rainy Sunday morning here out in Northern California, or at least it is here in Cloverdale. Went for a walk for about 40 minutes in the rain. It was actually kind of fun yesterday. Tyler got it was with the so I enjoyed that. We don't no more talk about drought, please. We do not need it here. If anybody says that word to me out here. Anybody, I'm gonna slap them silly. I do not want to hear that, Tyler. How you doing out there?
I'm doing good. I feel like when I started bragging about the weather in Northern California and said, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And Mother Nature always wins those battles, as we've seen. It's been rainy. It's freezing. I mean, it's funny, like you mentioned the drought. And like last year, there was all these rumors about, there's an atmospheric river above you. And like, I haven't heard that one year. It seems like the same thing that happened last year. It seems like the narrative goes as the narrative goes. And yeah, just cold, wet, and windy. And I'm freezing in my own place.
You know somebody's going to bring it up in August. You know, it's been hot for about a month straight. Somebody's going to bring up that D word. It's not. It's been hot here. I'm not going to stand for it out here anymore. I'm not standing for that trouble. Everything all right in your world? You had to get up at 2 a.m.? I remember I heard you and Brian did like a 13-minute podcast. I like how you're like 6 people came on right when I left. But you had to get up at 2 a.m.? Are you kidding me? My goodness.
Yeah, 2 a.m. I had to go up to Signalina, work at a restaurant or a resort, make sure they don't like the help to be around when the customers are waking up. The customers don't want to see us, so we have to get there real bright and early. Or actually, it's dark and cold and early, but it is what it is. Got to get the job done.
If you were all male models, would they feel the same way? If you told them that, if you said we photo shoots, we were famous, man. Oh, please come through the. So what time? So if you have to get there at 2, what time do you get home then? Like 2
after 11:30. Well, we got back at like 9:30, but we worked till 11:30.
So you get the whole rest of the day off.
Yep,
that's not bad then.
I don't mind getting up early as long as I'm getting off at a decent time.
Well, as long as we're not doing a podcast at 2 a.m., I think we're good.
I don't think I'll never ask it to do with that.
Appreciate anybody joining us here this morning. Fatboy FadeAway Sports, episode 168. Also, if you're tuning in on Variety Sports Network on the YouTube page, the Twitter page is there. Feel free to comment in. Like I said, Tyler and I kind of changing the format up a little bit this year. We're not going to broadening it towards the Nationals much. We'll get into that with winners and losers as we usually do, but. You have Little League baseball to 9 a.m. Sunday. Is that who is that coaching the team? Is that your brother-in-law? Who's the coach? Are you the manager?
My father.
9 a.m. Sunday practices. What is he doing?
He doesn't want to do anything during the week. I'm like, I don't understand. Let me get it all out of the way. I don't want to extend that for 7 days of doing stuff, but it is what it is. Figure it out.
9 a.m. on the concrete this morning, people. Tyler's going to be out there. It's no rain or shine. Is that what it is?
Yeah, now if it's rainy, we'll just sort of get to know each other, a little personality, see who's messing, who's not, who we need to work on throughout the year.
So this is the first practice.
It's the second, but no one came to the first one because it was come if you please, and it was rainy and wet also.
That's funny. I always feel like that when I did do the Little League for the first couple of years. It's always on the cement. The first couple, always on the cement.
Exactly.
Always
count on it in Little League. I heard you told me you won a ugly basketball game this week. You weren't proud, or not that you weren't proud. You just said it was ugly.
29 championship. No, playoffs start this week, so this is where. But it was like we had to. I think we're like the 5 seed out of 8. I think the 8 make it. We're the 5 seed. We play a team we could beat in the first round, then we play a really tough team if we get by that one. But we played them earlier in the year. We're a little bit better. But the 29 points is what's I'm like we're inconsistent scoring, and like in girls basketball like that, you have to be able to, and even boys basketball, but it's the same thing. You have to be able to hit a certain number, and when we're missing like 4-footers by 5 feet, it's like Robert Pack last night. For if anybody tuned into the double podcast, that's what we had a little bit. But they've gotten a lot better. We started out like 1-4 now we're like we made the playoffs. We didn't lose the rest of the way, so we finished out strong the rest of to finish.
What grade level is
it? These are like 8th, 7th, 6th, like that. Well, I have 2 teams going at the same time, so it's fun though. And playoffs start this week, so we'll see if I have big news next week, Tyler. If I have a banner behind me,
pull off the upset.
we get that with it. So yeah, I have that. And speaking of that, now we are in March Madness getting ready here. A lot of people getting fired up for that. Your Arizona Wildcats, but Cal still again not going to be with the tournament. Come on, do it, Cal. I remember when I was into Cal basketball. I remember like when I would actually kind of make a point of watching them on Saturday.
The Son Lampley days.
Yeah, like they actually were like Ryan Anderson even days. I mean,
yeah, like they even had they brought Ivan Rabb and Jaylen Brown. That was probably their last year of being, or no, with Randall. Last years of being watchable.
We were talking about coaching for a second. I was thinking about this the other day. And this is where I was like, well, I got to bring it up on the podcast because maybe somebody will want to comment in on it. Or I don't know how to say. Like I coach a lot of teams right during the year, like especially with sports teams, and then I also do PE, which is just a lot of classes, right? So you're just getting a lot of. Imagine doing the practice a lot, like like you're doing a ton of those, and then sometimes I get to the ones with my kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, 6:30 to 7:30, and then 7:30, 8:30, and I'm kind of burnt out. I realize at times, like for their practices more than the other ones, and sometimes I wonder if I would be better off not even being just coaching them on the side, and then just hope. Obviously, if they have a terrible coach, you have to figure that out. But you get my point, like, especially for the age they're at, like, 8 and 10. And they're not like Xavier maybe will get into it, but Derek's not, like, super into it really, like, to that point where I'm like, this might be something where I could take a step back on it, a little bit in a way, too. So I'm like, I was like, is that maybe a bad dad? I don't know. I was trying to, because that's what I kind of do is I do coach. So, like, what I mean? At the same time, I'm like, maybe I do need to take a step back. I don't know. It was kind of something I was working through.
You think individually training them would be better for maybe their basketball progression? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. My thing is more about how do I get my kids to actually like the game? Like that's how you get better, right? Is if you actually like it. And sometimes I feel if I'm coaching it, it's like I'm too involved all the time, and then like I'm not at my best with them or the team at times. Like I will give my son credit. Derek brought it up last time how I ripped on him a little bit. He did handle that well in that setting. But even to myself, I'm thinking like, okay, I know that wasn't bad coaching, but it is different doing it to your kid. And I'm okay with it, but at some point I'm also like, with how much I do, I wonder if it would be good for me to take a step back, let him be coached by somebody else, especially if the coach kind of knew what they were doing. I'd feel better about that. But like that, I don't know. That's something I've been like, does it make me a bad dad not to, I guess, want to coach my kids?
Obviously it doesn't make you a bad dad, but that's a catch-22 is you have to have another coach who knows what he's doing because you hand them off to some moron who's just rolling the balls out like being Casey's coach for 7th grade. I get Don McCombs who just do layup line scrimmage the whole time. No time and effort put into the practice, and you don't learn anything. But I don't know. I think coaching your kids and being fair and kind of separating the coaching and the parenting for that hour. Obviously, it's hard for the kid at times to try and separate the two because you are his dad first and always will be. But as they get older, I think it gets a little easier also.
And it's not, and sometimes for me, it's not even about actually coaching them is not even like that. I mean, it is sometimes you're like, they're not doing what you want, but you're like, at the same time, for me, it's even just the time. And I'm like, that's maybe where I'm like starting to feel like that's maybe where I need to. I know that's the weird thing about this is like, I've been doing this now for if I think about it, I've been doing at least coaching for 20 years now, pretty legitimately. You know what I mean? And now with my kids now playing sports a lot more, I have noticed that it has been a big difference from 20 to 30 when I had all this prep time for practice and all this stuff. And like it is definitely changed I think I've gotten better in terms of understanding how to do things more efficiently and stuff like that. But I definitely feel how if you were a real coach in a real program, how that stress would feel way more nervous. Like if I'm feeling that at this sometimes with kids, I can't even imagine if you had a family and you were the coach of the UConn Huskies or like, I just can't imagine like that. To me, that would be intense. I mean, that's why I get paid the big bucks, no doubt. I'm just saying.
You definitely would have to put career first in, but like that's what coaches do. Like, and especially like NFL and college coaches, I bet their family life suffers a lot from the coaching.
I took this coaching class at Sonoma State. I just remember, I think he was the girls coach at Sonoma State at the time I was there. And he had coached at Ursuline too, which is a local high school where it wasn't all.
What was his name?
I forget his name, but he was a big guy, big, heavy set dude. And I just remember him saying, the one thing with coaching in high school and college is I think there's a stat he said 50% of coaches end up divorced. I was like, I can believe that. I can believe that for sure. So I just remember thinking at the time, I was like, well, I guess if I want a family, I might have to make a decision with this one way or the other. Like, because like I think that's the thing too is we're competitive and like so like that's been on my mind with it. But just back to my kids part of it, I was just thinking through like just that time and the energy and like kind of just a burnout fact. Like I take Xavier to the park over here and did that 2 days in a row with him when it was sunny, and I was like, man, I enjoyed doing this way more with them than like coaching like the night. And it's not that I don't like the 9 other people. It's not even that. It's just the time and then like every Saturday. I don't know. Like I think that's the mindset where I'm like, man, I'm not at that point anymore. Where I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's prep that field, baby. Let's prep the field. Let's get there in 30 minutes.
I gotta move the chairs.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. That's just something that was on my mind.
I don't know.
Any last thoughts for me on that one, dude?
I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up. If you need to step back, just I don't know, take a little time away.
And I think doing the pod changed some of that too, right?
You're doing the pod 4 days a week. Also, you're stacking things on top of each other. It's a lot of work.
The talk and the gridiron thing stopped, so that slowed down a little bit with some of that stuff that kind of there. But now I'm basically doing this 7th inning, the double we're kind of doing every other week, so it's not really been as big a commitment with those things. So hopefully that will slow it down a little bit there with it, like you said. I had to do I work with these 7th graders once in a while every Friday too. The farther I get removed from what I was at 13 or 14, I kind of ponder our species at times, like in a good way. But you know what I mean? I'm just like, it's just such an interesting stage of life when you're 13 or 14. You kind of forget about it. Just some of the conversations that they have. I mean, they're funny, but I'm also at the same time like, what do you mean you don't understand? Like, what do you mean you don't understand why you're getting in trouble? Like, what do you mean? Like you get warned 95 times and you're going to get caught on the 96. Like that's going to happen. So
exactly.
Some of these funny things working with them on it. So I had that this week too.
Just think how small your world was when you were 13 and 14. You only cared about like 3 things, like or only put effort like sports. School got put on the back burner. You didn't really care. Making your parents happy, staying out of their way and not getting in trouble was a priority, and that's about it.
That was maybe more your mindset was more the same, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, don't be in trouble and sports were basically what my mindset was. Keep the weekends available to be able to play in my sports games and hang out with friends. And
you growing up, that would have been totally different because you had 2 older brothers and I was the oldest. So just that idea would have been different. You would have the whole thing like for that. Well, I had to do 2, we call them at school, I have to do like chapels. That's kind of like, so basically you give like, try something about the word of God, but you're also trying to like kind of make it where it's somewhat entertaining for like 8 to 10 minutes. Let's say, I guess you could show video, you could do song, whatever, you could do something like that. So so the audiences are this on Wednesday, it's a kindergarten through 3rd grade. And then on Thursday, it's 4th grade through 8th grade. So that's literally who I'm having to talk to for like 8 minutes about things. Like, so imagine like the first time I did this, now it's my 3rd time with the kindergarten, 3rd grade. So Tyler, just imagine you're out there trying to talk about maybe something serious, right? If it's something like,
life lessons and
whatnot. Yeah. And you're out there looking at a kindergarten audience and they're kind of like you're like trying to like stay funny. You're like trying to give a point. You're also like, I don't do it. So the first year I did it, I remember I showed a quick video, talked, and I remember looking in the audience and I finished it in probably like 4 minutes, the thing. And I remember the teacher the next day saying, that was the shortest chapel ever. So I was like, well, I mean, they didn't look like they gave it. They didn't look like they cared at all. So I just wanted to get them in, get them out. I wanted to make my point. So this year,
short attention span.
So this year I did a video of, do you remember that Olympic moment? I'm sure you've seen it from 1992 in Spain where the Britain guy, he's running, pulls his hamstring, and the dad comes onto the track and helps him finish kind of through the race. Have you
Not really?
You haven't seen that before?
Yeah, not off the top of my head. I might have seen it, but I didn't know when it happened and where it happened. So I've seen guys carry track players or track athletes to the finish line before.
Yeah, no, I'll see if I can get it up here in a second. Here it is. Yeah, but anyways, I'm playing this video for them at the chapel. This right here, Tyler. Let's see if I can get it there. Let's just see if I can get it right here on the screen for you. Right here at the end. I don't know if you've seen that one where he pulls his hamstring. Dad runs onto the track. Basically helps, kind of. It's just one of those moments in Olympic history that if you've seen it, they basically have it on there. So, anyways, I play this video. They have it to like some music set and like have some questions set up about it, about Goddard on it and the guy. And I showed. I'm like, I should probably show it to Xavier because it's kind of meant. I did it last year for the 4th and 8th grade and it worked well. And I was like, maybe 2nd and 3rd they could get it, but I'm like, the guard did it first. There's maybe a little too much writing. So I showed it to Xavier the night before, and I go, well, what do you think the video is? What do you think that's about? He's like, well, the dad was there as somebody who could lean on and help and stuff like that. I was like, good. I was like, what do you think the other meeting it was? And he's like, that the dad could get past security. I was like, I was like, yes, that's what we're going for. So I'm kind of dying laughing at the same time because you're just trying to show something that they probably won't remember, but you're hoping one thing sticks out.
God, Dad
got my security. Stiff arm. He got my arm.
Yeah, does that fly today? There's no way Dad gets on the track today.
In the Nike gear, he's got the oh man. It's a crazy story, though, if you haven't heard the one. The guy actually, I guess the 4 years earlier in the Olympics, he tore his Achilles an hour before his race, and he was the favorite. Then he did that in another race before. So I did that one.
That's rough.
Then the older kids, I actually, for the first time, gave my testimony. It was good, though, so it was good. It was, for me, I realized it was the first time I had really spoken on Derek's situation and how it affected me in public, and I felt like it was a good spot to do it because there was like, I don't know, 79 kids there and like not a ton of people. I was like, that's a good chance for me to kind of figure out how I'm going to do this going forward and stuff. And it was good. All I know is this: if you get 4th graders to come up and shake your hand and get afterwards, you did a good job, and you got people to cry. You did a good job with it. So that was the best part about doing it on Thursday. But I realized it did take a lot of emotion out of me. It was weird, like just speaking on that and kind of reliving some of those moments, like. It was like, reliving like the helicopter ride, just kind of talking about it for the first time and trying to put all that together and how Derek's cancer affect. It was, I didn't realize just because you got to remember, I'm talking to 4th, 5th, 6th grade wasn't there, 7th, 8th, and 5 teachers and maybe another guy there. And it's like, and Hana was there too, but it's like, it was different. I don't know. It was interesting.
I mean, it's the most emotional time of your life, probably,
yeah, for sure.
When you got that news and just all the emotion, like talking about it's just going to relive those moments, and it's going to get rawer and rawer as you talk about it.
And you're trying to do it
for the first time. The more that speech goes, you're getting more emotional, and I'm sure that's making other people feel a certain way. And that's good that you can speak about it in a way that is real and raw and how you really feel and being honest. And it's only going to get, I'd imagine, a little bit easier the more and more you talk about it. Not that the original emotions are any worse, but that's good. That's awesome that you can do that.
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting, and it was good. So it went well, and I got good feedback from it. And like when I did that thing with Mike McHenry here on 7th inning stretch, I don't know, it was like last time I think he came on. We were talking about Make-A-Wish, and we got talking to Derek. He's like, yeah, you just got to tell. Once he did tell me that, I kind of was like, you're right. I can't be as fearful just kind of saying, talking about how, that what God's meant in my life and all that stuff. So I just got to say it when I need to and put it into words when I can. So it was good. It's good I had the opportunity to do that. And it was fun. But it is weird, the nerves that kind of lead up to that stuff too with that. Hey, did you see this? Did you see that clip of that went kind of viral about that coach yesterday that grabbed the player coming out down the bench? I think it was like a college baseball game. Did you ever see that?
No,
I guess the coach got overreacted.
Bobby Knight-esque?
Well, it wasn't quite Bobby-esque, Bobby Knight-esque, but it was kind of more. It was more like grabbed him by the jersey for a second, then he stopped and pulled away, and he was like, I better not. And so, and the kid, you could tell the kid was screaming at him on the way off too. So just one of those coach moments. If you didn't see it, we'll skip by it. Or I was curious to get your thoughts on it. Now,
when is it okay to stop a kid from going by you, or is it ever okay? Like obviously at 6 years old, you're not going to really grab a kid by the shoulder. You're 10 years old or even 12 years old. But it's like in college, obviously can't grab them like physically and move them or like
Yeah.
hurt them. But like, is there ever a time and place where you could show the video? And,
right there. So he kind of grabs them and they kind of separate.
yeah.
So there you go. You got it. You grab them by the shirt. He
If
definitely
that's your
grabs them by
son,
the
are you
shirt.
upset?
If it's my son, I don't know. I got to depends who my son is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there isn't a time and a place. It's just when you do it in a public setting like that in front of everybody on your team, it does set a different precedent. I'm not, you know what I mean? I think it's a little too much.
But what precedent does it set that the kid's yelling at his coach and you let him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a point where like you cross a line too, and you need to be kind of set. Like it's not like you slapped him in the face.
No, he grabbed him. He kind of gave him a little push, which was probably the most inappropriate part.
That's why I'm not like. To me, it wasn't like the worst thing, but it was. It shows the intensity of these games and just kind of how coaching part is can be tough. You have to. There's a lot of emotions involved. Like you know what I mean. Like even you guys getting ready, did the training last week. You're prepared now. Control yourself. Just everybody get along, right? Everybody get along. Do you guys have one coach in the league that always is a little too much, or no? Everybody's good.
I mean, yeah, there's one who's gonna. We have 12-year-old or 13-year-old umps who are just terrible, and there was one coach last year who would kind of intimidate and bully in a way, like not like touch or like yell at or scream, but he would talk to in a way that was, you better make the right call.
The good pitch every time. Great, good. That's a strike, right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like he'd go up to him in between innings and be like, "What happened on this play?" And like every time, and I was like, "This guy's a joke."
You should go up there next time and listen to every conversation. What did you think of the Warriors? They play the Celtics today. Wiggins is on a sabbatical. Paul is back, and I don't want to take the Wiggins thing he probably is going. It's just kind of now second year in a row. Green upset at Bonte Hill, the announcer there. I feel like that's a little too much from Draymond again, but that's the whole other topic there. What do you think of the Warriors playing a little better? I feel like people are starting to believe in them a little too quickly again for me. I do think they're playing better, but I still, there are some flaws that I'm just not going to forget about from the beginning of the year. Even with Kuminga playing better, there are still some flaws.
I mean, there's definitely some flaws, but they're not any different than the flaws they had when they won the championship 2 years ago. Like, they still lack size. Looney's not the same, so I guess that's a little different. But I think the Kuminga jump, like, you watch Kuminga play, he's bullying guys down on the block. Like, they'll do a post-entry pass, and Kuminga will get 3 feet of space, and it's just a dunk just by him being more physical and stronger than he was even 6 months ago, or more ferocious and more willing to do what he needs to do. So I think that jump helps them. Are they the best team in the NBA? No, they're probably like not even in the top 5 at this point. I wouldn't even put them there, but they're a lot better. The depth from 3 months ago in the beginning of the year is way better. They have a backcourt now with Chris Paul and Klay coming off the bench. It's pretty legit. And then you have Saric has taken a step back. He is almost unplayable at this point. He was their second best player earlier in the year. That's like how far they've come. Like, they were dead in the water. I was writing this team off as like trash. And
what if they lose what if they lose 3 out of 4? I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they is will. It just Kuminga's jump that's changed it for you? And like Green, I mean, I don't understand what's.
And Draymond's playing way better. He's not slapping people in the face. He's playing good defense.
People would say DiVincenzo.
Well, that was crazy. That wasn't like you. I like whack the ball out.
Who's the guy you always use that gif of? That's like whenever you always do the laughing moment that way. I always get a kick out of that. Who's the guy, Captain America? You always use his gif for that one. Oh, he's always laughing.
Other super Doctor Strange, I think.
That one always cracks me up when he's laughing at that one. So the Warriors play. So let's just say they lose to the Celtics today. I guess today will be a big game to see how they compete, or no? You called it the big game.
Yeah, it's a big game. But then they have the Bucks on Wednesday. There's 2 good, tough teams in a row that they don't match up great against. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go 0-2. As long as they're there at the end. I don't think there's a championship team by any.
They're going to be in the play-in more than likely, right?
Yeah, I could see them get to a 6th seed. I think they could go on a big run. I really like this team. with Pods being better, Gary Payton Jr. coming back, they have wing defenders again. I think it's so important in the NBA, like I mentioned on the double-double.
What if Wiggins doesn't come back again?
Well, then they're done. This is all done. They're not winning any playoff games.
Is this the Rodman? Does he get the Rodman vacation every year?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, dude. I mean, family troubles 2 years in a row and indefinite. It's just scary.
The Warriors.
It's scary to see with his name out in indefinite family problems. We saw it last year, and it really affected the team last year.
It did, and the Warriors haven't been consistent all year. You know, obviously with Green being out for all his stuff at the beginning of the year, it just wasn't the suspension. He was missing games here or there for injuries too, and then that same thing with Curry Clay. So I'll see there. LeBron last night. We had talked about it last. I was curious to get your thoughts though on the thing that intrigued me was you feel like Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points might be fake.
I mean, there's no video. There's like these.
I thought there was video that recently came out. I guess.
I don't know if it's fake. It seems like a good time for something they go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and play in a high school like gym. I don't know. It just doesn't add up. But it is what it is. I'm never gonna not count
the NBA like kind of rigged it or something like that.
I think it was. What was that?
NBA rigged it like.
I don't know what happened. I think it happened. It's 100 points in 1962. It could have happened.
Doesn't it seem like, honest, if you're being like you want to watch the best basketball right at the end of the year, it feels like if we want to see the best, we want to see Nuggets Celtics, right?
Oh yeah,
that's if we want to see. All right, because I feel like if we want to see peak basketball, that's kind of what like even if it's the Bucks, like it's like well, Giannis then, but I feel like those teams are like they're both experienced, they're both like the Celtics want to win badly. The Nuggets would be going for back-to-back. To me, that would be pretty intense basketball. I'd be interested, and their styles would be different a little bit with the wings, the way they play with Jokic through the middle. They use the Celtics play more outside in. It'd be interesting to watch. So, to me, that would be the best matchup. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think those are the two best teams, and I don't think it's particularly close. Minnesota, Oklahoma City are good. But I got to see it in the playoffs.
I expect anything with the Warriors before we go on.
I mean, I have it in losers, so I'll get into it in a little bit. We'll get into it when we get into that. So
now I want the viewership. We'll probably jump to 10 here in a minute. Giants, they signed your boy Matthew Chapman. Are you excited about getting the Giants? Let's get something for you, big man. Come on, baseball's almost here. They got you a defensive third baseman. He'll bat 250 for you.
I'll give them credit for actually getting somebody in the building. Is he a draw? No. Is he gonna? This is my issue with it. Like just to nitpick it to death.
Yeah.
They give him a 3-year deal, just like Bellinger, with the outs.
Yep.
If he wants to, so if he has a monstrous year,
yeah, he's out.
I still think this roster sucks, and they're not going to be any good even if he has a monster year. And he's going to opt out and get a huge deal that somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or
he's probably going to opt out anyway.
I just don't. And if he sucks, we're stuck with a crappy 230 good defensive third base. So I don't.
Who was the guy that was the young guy that was playing third before? Everybody was like, no, now this guy can't develop.
Casey Smith.
Yeah.
Casey at bat.
I heard Matt Chapman might play short though.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, we don't have a shortstop.
No, there you go. That's 240. It's not a big deal, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think Casey Smith can hit though. He's a good defender as well, but he can't hit.
You can't have every. So they were showing the lineup. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, it's a little better, but you still have Solera should help a little bit with the power, like we said. Yeah. We'll see if Chapman can figure it out.
I think the key is the Jung-Hoo Lee guy from Korea. If he's like a really good player, that could make a difference. I just don't. You
got some streaky hitters though on that team.
That's the Giants' way, baby.
That is the
offense, get guys who get streaky.
Probably Conforto is your best natural hitter, but he just hasn't been able to put it together for a while here. So Giants signed Chapman. Like I said, I'm excited. I've been doing the 7th inning stretch every week, kind of for a while now. So I've been following all this. It says that you guys might still get Snell. You're in the running for that.
That would help.
Nice. That would be nice.
Guys,
to me, that's where you still lack as a starting pitcher.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's probably bottom third in that, or maybe bottom 10 in the whole, or 8, 6 in the whole MLB. They don't have guys that can get people out. The bullpen could be good with Hicks and Duvall in the back end. Is there the depth? I don't know. We'll see. Baseball's so like you get guys in the bullpen and have these great years, and then they have terrible years. It's hard to predict.
That's the thing. With the A's, did you see that they kind of put up a new sign there, and the fact that Dave Cavill has the audacity to tweet anything about Oakland is the most ridiculous thing in the world. So,
I wish I never deleted that Dave Cavill video I made like a year or two ago.
You ripped on him on that one.
No,
that was a good
an idiot. He uses San Francisco as like a crutch to prop up what the A's were doing. Now he doesn't even do that because he's a two-faced son of a gun.
Yeah, he's and like I said, I gave the winner of the week last week to the Foul Territory guys for coming out, but it was good to see that I mean, the fact that your own fans have to put on a fan fest isn't good. The baseball pants, not good either. Baseball pants, pretty good. Some of these shots that have come out have been incredible. What were you thinking with the top 5 people in person? You want to explain that just for a second?
Just like guys you wish you got to see them in person, not on TV, just live in a real event. Who are the 5 guys you'd want to see all time and then right now? Explain what I was because I asked my dad and he seemed very confused by what I was asking. He just kept mentioning guys who he never saw in person. He saw on TV. And I was like, that's not what I want. He's like, what's the difference? I'm like, I think you appreciate more of what an athlete could do, like live. Like Joe Montana, you probably have more of appreciation for than someone who maybe saw a video or saw him live.
Your dad doesn't agree with the question.
He just didn't understand it, I don't think. I think
does he get it now? If he gets it,
I don't know, hopefully. Do
you
understand what I'm saying?
Live is a little, to me, if you're live, I'm thinking first row. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for me, that's what I'm thinking in person, see everything. So I had Acuna Jr. I want to see him live. There, I've already seen Ohtani, so I can't have all the why I didn't see. So I have Acuna Jr.
You
on
saw
there.
Ohtani?
Yeah, when he was on the 8 with you got to see him hit and pitch. The Greek Freak, I'd want to see him in person. Wemby, I want to see that in person for sure. Mahomes, I want to see him in person.
He was on my list, and then I was like, I don't.
And then maybe one that would surprise you, but for like I said, I'm thinking first row, like right here is Tyreek Hill, just to see that speed in person. So those would be my 5. I have a few others. I have Aaron Judge, Jaw. I'd like to see in person with his athleticism. So those would be, and then De La Cruz from the Reds. I'm starting to fight. He might be my new guy, him and Corbin Carroll. So that's my for baseball. So,
I have a feeling De La Cruz he's too physically of a beast that won't figure out. But we'll see. I have Anthony Edwards, Wemby, Ja, Tyreek, Lamar, and then Shohei. But I was like, F the Dodgers. I don't want to see Shohei anymore.
We got our guy here at the Savage there 3 the hard way. Hope you're doing good, man. Yeah, got to see Wemby and getting seats near the Spurs bench in April. But yeah, that'll be. I remember when I go into a game with remember Andrew Hiles, and it was like he had seats right behind the Wizards bench, just when Arenas had just signed with the Wizards, and I was like, Eton Thomas is the biggest man on earth. Like I remember thinking that he was just massive. It was like this guy is not human, and so like to see a guy like Wemby just insane, like how tall he is and just how that would be cool to see. I think that's just the closest I've been, and like each other. I don't know why right now I was like, this guy is just the shoulders are my God.
Predator.
I would die. It's still Casey, we could have been closer if we could have had floor seats, man. We could have been on the floor. Dampier maybe would have been the guy that would have been on there. So I hope you're doing good out there with it. Who else you got, T? Anybody else?
Not for now. Obviously, SGA I'd want to see live. A lot of basketball players I think would be the most interesting to watch, like because they're the closest. Baseball, forever. I have prime Conor McGregor. I would love to go to a UFC event. It's just the whole weekend going to the press conference on Saturday and the fight on Sunday. McGregor to me must watch. Randy Johnson as a pitcher. I wish I got to sit behind home plate watching him pitch. Then Tiger Woods, obviously, Willie Mays, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan. I think those would be the guys I'd want to see live.
I have to
limit the list.
I had Wayne Gretzky on there. Like I don't know, for some reason I like to see.
My dad had him on his list.
Mike Tyson walking out. That would be. I had him on the list, knowing he might destroy a human being. That was kind of down there. I never got to see Michael Jordan, so He's on the list for sure. There's so many. For me, it's Willie Mays, Hank Aaron together. Can I put them together? Like I put them as one there, and then so those two I would love to see as well. And then my other baseball one is I would love to see Pete Rose in person. I like I said, like I want to marry my daughter, but I just like to see him play baseball, like out there. Like you know what I mean? Like he played hard, so I like. And then can we throw a little tennis out there? I know me and you, Federer for you, Nadal for me. I think those are guys that I would have loved to see in person too, especially battling each other.
Yeah, I thought like the individual sports are always like the most like intriguing as far as seeing one guy.
Well, Tiger, I guess I should put him.
I had Tiger on there.
Yeah, I should put Tiger on there. I didn't have Tiger. That wasn't good. Jack Nicklaus, do we go all the way back? The Bear.
Good old Jack.
Do we go to the Bear? That's a good question. With it, so yeah, because I agree with you. I think it is different seeing somebody live, especially if you're at a decent. I mean, it is always different, even if you're there. But if you're even closer, it is totally a whole different experience. Totally.
You saw LeBron get his first triple-double in Oakland. Like I wish I got to see that, and I hadn't seen it.
Seeing Bonds hit a home run from the first row is a lot different. Let's just say.
And that's the only reason I didn't have Bonds on this list, because I've seen Bonds.
Bonds.
Times, but
I feel like every time I went to a Giants game, he hit a home run. So I felt
that was the best part about Bonds. You knew he was going to deliver.
Every time he hit a home run, you're like, this is, or he's going to get walked, and you're going to boo for people forever.
And you get to wave the tickets. Wave those tickets.
So yeah, top 5 ever players you would want to see. Man, there's quite a list. That'd be tough in person, right up close. That'd be Muhammad Ali would be there for sure. You mentioned him. That's a good one. I said for now too. I was trying to think of like a defensive football player. Like I put Parsons maybe as like if I had to go like kind of like he just seems like he gets by every single human being. Like he must be a lot different. So I put him on the list as well up there with it. So all right, that was a good question there, Tyler, with that one. All right. Bay Area flashback this week, right? You got it. I feel like we got a couple. We'll get on the list here at that. Speaking of your Giants, I don't know if anybody remembers this electric performance by. We'll get into 2. I think I'm going to get both. We'll give both Bay Area teams a little shout out this week. But I got your boy Timmy Jim up there with it.
Saw him live many a times as well. Great,
yes, unbelievable. He was great to see live for sure.
He was so awesome.
I always love this is most 14 Ks first round.
This is the greatest game he's ever played.
I've never seen him better than this performance.
He just missed bats. So many swings and misses when he pitched.
Strikes out on a fastball. 0-2 pitch.
No, this was his best performance.
Lights out. Strikeout number 13.
Yeah,
he was unbelievable when
he was in that one. He was really good in that one for sure. I don't know, that to me was one of the best performances. I always felt like I'm not even a Giants fan, but when that one was as electric as you get in that performance. Like he was pinpoint on everything. He might have like like when you actually watch you watch every game of a pitcher, they get like let's say they throw 104 pitches. If 3 of them are not where they want them, like that is how good this guy was. It wasn't like he was like done 3 and 2 count. It was nope, nasty, nope, nasty, nope, that was where it was. Low and away, nasty. And the Braves 14 Ks. They looked as foolish as you can look in a playoff performance, game 1.
And just another note on that game, that crowd was as locked into a baseball game. They'll never won a World Series yet. 2010, just absolutely electric.
And
Bill Simmons had some articles about how it was, or I think it was Bill Simmons, that crowd and how great it was.
Well, you guys always and Bill Simmons did have one with the Warriors, the 2007 We Believe team. He had that one on there with it too. I got to get a little A's action in here too. This will be for my guy Tejada out here on the screen. We'll get him up. This is him tying it up, tying the division up September against the Angels. I just love Bill King on the radio too. So anytime I can get Big Bill on there with it, I can get him. I got to get the volume there with it.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
I'll get it up there. Give me just a second. I had to take it on.
This was your favorite player growing up.
Yes, he was.
Number 5 in the American League with runners in scoring position. A bouncing ball past the mound up the middle into center field. Here comes Durham around third. He's on the way to the plate. The throw will not be in time. Durham slides in. A's win the ball game.
Good stuff, Bill. How do you not enjoy a little Bill King
They
action
go
there?
to Hada after a couple
Ray
of
Durham.
frustrating at-bats tonight. Comes through big time in the bottom of the ninth inning.
The main guy.
Up the middle. Durham scores. The A's are back at a tie with the
Hudson.
for first place in the West, and 3 more to play here on this diamond the rest of the week.
That is
It's funny to look back at that ground ball to think, would there be a shift played these?
thinking the same exact thing. Darren Erstad in center field you can see the Raiders were playing basic football. You can see the field was already starting to get beat up. That was some good times with A's fans right there. Those were the best of times when you had those teams right there. When you see Jermaine Dye, Barry Zito, Mark Mulder together, Tim Hudson, so I thought those were some good flashbacks right around. Those are good Bay Area flashbacks right there. That Lincecum that's as high as it gets on the list without the World Series, right?
Yeah, that was for me, because Lincecum was my favorite player of that era, and he was just unbelievable. He's on much. I guess Pedro Martinez should probably go on my list because he was even nastier than Lincecum. That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. What do you think? Winners and losers this week. What do you got for?
I'll start with losers.
Yeah. What do you got for losers?
My loser is this most clutch award for the NBA. The fact that Steph Curry's supposed to runaway winner is like I don't understand. I've seen this team I've mentioned. I think the Warriors are good. I think they're going to be great. They're really good, tough out in the playoffs. But to be the most clutch player in the award, how do you blow so many leads this year? It doesn't make any sense to me how he's the runaway favorite for this award.
When you blow so many leads, you get a chance to come back and get clutch.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like when you miss rebounds. What, you got a lot of double doubles. You missed all the layups. You have to put backs.
Danny Fortson special.
Can I have NFL offseason? I know everybody loves it. I'm just not, or some people love it. I'm just not a big, like right now, what is it? The combines going on right now. So I'm just not I'm not an NFL offseason guy, Tyler. I'm not the hype train for that does not get me going there with it. And then they said, my boy De La Cruz, he hit a 470-foot homer. They don't even have video of it. What are we doing? This is 2024. How do you not have video of a home run of that? Somebody be sitting behind home plate with a camera had to get it. Unacceptable, people. Unacceptable. Cannot happen.
To piggyback on what you said, I didn't know whether to put it in winner or loser, but the Xavier Worthy running a 4.2240, I was like, this is the most overblown thing I've ever. I mean, it's impressive he ran that fast.
I put it for my winner of the week to kind of make fun of it.
but I saw John Ross do the same thing.
He was flying.
But I've seen John Ross was like 4.24, I believe, or 5. And be an absolute bomb.
You know what TBD on if Al was around.
No, absolutely.
He would definitely. Xavier Worthy would be a Raider. He would be a Raider.
He'd be the 5th. What pick do you guys have? He'd be the 8th overall pick.
Darius Hayward Bay, 9th overall, or whatever you go. He ran that 40 over Maryland. Unreal. What a 40-yard dash. And then we took the guy from Nebraska because he ran it fast, and we took Phillip Buchanan because he ran it fast. I mean, solid players, but they're all just because they ran basically Jacoby Ford. Remember him, the old Dave out there?
Yeah, Clemson.
It's
cool to be from Clemson.
How about winner of the week? I'll go first with it then. Like I said, just watch Double yesterday, that Matembo video. Please go to the end. It's good stuff. Maybe I'll get it up here one of these times. Matembo, John Elway. That's a winner of the week with that old video there. Otani getting married, his wife. Very nice. No, just saying. That's winner of the week, right? That's winner of the week. Right?
Good for Shohei and his $700 million.
What do you got for a winner? Anything else?
Nikola Jokic, just watching him the last 2 games. And then I saw him in a commercial. I was like, I didn't think he'd be doing commercials. That was the last thing I expected from him. I didn't think he cared about that stuff. But just unbelievable. Watching him kill the Lakers and kill the Warriors. I was like, this guy is unbelievable. He's unguardable.
I don't. Somebody else beat him, so we don't have to play him. Somebody else.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Beat him up. This Dune movie. So I was at this work meeting on Monday, and they're like, "Yeah, they're gonna use the room for Dune," and I was like, I was like, Doom? I was like, yeah, the video game? I was like, what we did? And they're like, Doom, you never heard of it? And they gave me the feeling like I was an idiot. Like, like I had this, like, I need to know what Dune was. And they're like, well, there's Dune number 2. I was like, well, I definitely don't know Dune number 2. Because I don't know Dune number 1. And so I looked it up yesterday for the first time just to see the cover of the video. I haven't actually looked into it. I don't even know what this is about. I just laughing about it because then on Twitter, everybody's talking about seeing it. Our guy Doug out there, you said that you were trying to see it. I'm like, I was trying to think of a series or a movie that everybody knew about that I just was so unaware about from the past. Like, I didn't even know existed. I'm like I heard about them, but I still never seen like Lord of the Rings or that stuff. Like, I just never seen it, but I knew what it was.
You knew of it.
Yeah. But like this Dune one, I was like, what? They're like, yeah, it's as good as Star Wars or something like that. I was like, all right. I don't know. Have you heard of this movie at all? Like, was it something?
I knew of Dune Part 1 because it's Zendaya, and I kind of keep my eye on whatever she's doing because it's normally good if she's involved. So,
Did you
but
see
I
it
never saw it. No, I still haven't. I tried to watch it, and our power went out on Saturday night.
Are you a sci-fi person?
Friday night. Excuse me. No, see, that's another thing. I'm not a sci-fi genre type of guy. Like Adam Sandler, I watch all his movies, as stupid as they are. But he just came out with a Spaceman movie. I watched like 4 minutes serious movie. And I was like, this one's not for me. Too sci-fi. It's like a little animal running around and shit. I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Sci-fi's
never got into Star Trek. Never got into Star Wars.
Is there one sci-fi movie you don't mind? Is there one you could think of?
I mean, there's episodes of what's it called? Where they're do.
No, that's not.
Yeah, I know. But no, there's nothing.
I was thinking there was some movie with Tom Cruise out. I forget what it was called. It was like
Minority Report.
Yes, that one was like as weird as it got. I was trying to explain it to somebody about one time, and I was like, like because the girl's like in the water, she's got like, and I'm like, yeah, this is not. When you're trying to explain a sci-fi movie to somebody that really doesn't care, it's not going to sound good, is that?
Did you like The Matrix?
Never seen them.
None of them. I've only seen the first one. I'm not a big guy. See, I thought it was good, but it wasn't like, oh, this is life-changing. Now it's like popcorn. Now it's all over popcorn. Oh, are you red pill or blue pill? I'm like, this is like, what'd you do, The Matrix? You ruined social media.
I just haven't been. I think that's what it is. I think it's the sci-fi. So it sounds like you're the same way as me. Then.
Yeah, I'm not a big sci-fi guy.
That's what
I like realistic stuff.
I like realistic stuff like White House Down or like Air Force One, or I like I like stuff like that. Is Terminator sci-fi? I don't know. I feel
that's sci-fi for sure.
Yeah, I guess that one's a little weird too. I like the action. There's a little bit more action though in that one, so you kind of get away with it a little bit. Fake action movies is the one I like. That's why I like Reacher. I think.
Did you like Interstellar?
What?
Interstellar?
No, I think Stella got a Ruben. No, I haven't. I have not seen that one. All right, that was a good show, T. You got baseball here, 9:00 not on the hardwood, it's on the blacktop out there. So that means you guys get to work on choppers this morning. Good job.
A lot of choppers. You get a lot of good hops at least.
And you gotta break the ice question. What's it gonna be? What's your favorite position, and who is your favorite player? And I remember when people would ask that question. I remember when I would ask that question to them, and they'd be like, Willie Mays. I'd be like, Willie Mays. I'd be really? I'm like, you're 8. You can't say Willie Mays. I don't know. Maybe they can. There's enough video out there with it. So, does your son have a favorite player?
Carl Yastrzemski. Or Mike Yastrzemski, excuse me.
I thought if it was Carl, I was going to die. I was that proves my point. 1949. He's your favorite.
Mike Yastrzemski. Excuse me.
That would have been great, though. That would have been right on cue if that was the case. All right, T. Have a good Sunday, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you too.
All right, guys. Fatboy FadeAway Sports. Take it easy.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Peace.